Salutations, lords and ladies. I'm Vale. I realize there are a lot of people who are self-isolating, and there are some who are like me who are not self-isolating but still have that insomnia, can't sleep, too much stress, whatever. What can I do about that, How can I help myself? How can I help you? I probably can't, but what I can do is help you while away a little bit of time. If you want to spend a little time with me, I can read you a book. Sometimes I'll be reading other short stories I've written, but I thought tonight, for my first show, it might be appropriate to read from my book, Presenting the Aftermath. So let's just jump in, shall we? Act 1, Code Red Convention Center, Buffalo, New York. Anywhere from 20 to 50 audience members have gotten in to mill about the venue a little early to catch a sound check and/or see a little of the behind the scenes of the latest project. The lead singer is not present at the short rehearsal that is presently going on. But the band sounds amazing playing the snippets of songs they're trying to perfect the performance sound for. A few lucky girls have begged on their knees, offering all kinds of physical perks to a security guard or doorman, often afterward attempting to endear themselves to a band member or roadie in order that they may be kept around a little longer, to let them backstage for free, where others have paid hundreds of dollars for the privilege. This actually happens at concerts. It's I don't know if you think it's cool or sad, but it is, speaking from experience, it does actually happen. But even they won't get to witness all the organization and planning involved in creating spectacle from scraps and chaos. Rock concerts are complicated affairs. This one especially. Small or large, they require much toil and commitment to pull off. The best ones, like this one, require a singular vision. All the general public knows of while in the midst of a show like this is that a grand spectacle with lights, sounds, musicians, and performers of varying types has them in absolute awe for 2 or more hours. There are fire breathers, simulated rainstorms from the ceiling, and other pyrotechnics at various points in the performance, which are now being directed as to how they should appear in the show. These things are involved to dazzle the senses as well. Some of the entertainers on the stage are even elaborately costumed and/or playing fantastic characters in segments of the show, including a flashy alien-appearing lead singer whose costume will be lit up in a luminescent orange in appointed spots, and whose makeup is so artistically applied his own mother would never even recognize him as a human, let alone as her son. But that's later in the evening. He's not visible during the setup. Instead, he's beneath the stage in the control room, eating a bowl of microwave spring onion-flavored rice noodles with lit-up lightsaber chopsticks, wearing a headset mic, and directing the rehearsal and scene, while gaffers, wire workers above yell at each other about where certain cables go, or while the choreographer screams, No, the wire work doesn't take place till after they do the fire volcano, not before. Not during. I have specific instructions from Shannon. The whole thing storyboarded right here, pounding her right index finger on a clipboard in her left hand containing drawings of the stage show. You each have 1. Now take 3 minutes to review your cues, then go from the top. Checks her watch. Starting now. Shannon is left in peace, away from the prying eyes of the early arrivals, to completely bring his imagination to life as he sees fit, without questions or opinions from anyone he doesn't keep around him. This is how he's designed his career. Where once he was signed and a slave to a label, he now books his own shows, distributes his own music, owns the rights to everything he creates, thus answering to nobody. Just the way he wants it. And tonight is the recent Grammy winner's biggest show ever. When one is in the midst of a concert, especially a rock performance, prior to the show even beginning, there is an organic electricity in the air that one can physically feel against every inch of their skin. It is a special vibration that is created when hundreds or thousands of strangers gather in common anticipation of something they don't get to witness on a daily basis. Many actually get goosebumps from this strange sensation. Even the performers, this buzz is felt by all this evening, This is a major event. Press-shy rocker Shannon Kelly has pulled out all the stops for this grand opening of the brand new Code Red Convention Center in Buffalo, New York. Showtime. There are over 75,000 people in attendance. They're all chanting and clapping in unison with the song being played. That much energy being transferred from that many people in the audience, directed at the physically unshielded mortals worshipped as gods for a short time on stage, can't help but become addictive to some of those spectators and performers. Then, after the show is over, the stage cleared, the audience vanished, and venue swept clean. After the lights were taken down, the instruments put away, and the costumes stored for travel, it's all back to normal. Perhaps this is why some stars choose to party with drugs and or alcohol afterwards, to try to sustain that high they've gotten from performing in front of a live audience. Maybe this is why some concert patrons imbibe such artificial intoxicants afterwards as well. Before, during, and for a few hours after a really well-done rock performance like this one, everyone who attended is transformed by this mysterious airborne energy. This kinetic form of magical intoxication creates a temporarily surreal view of life. Simply put, the troubles and negativity of the world at large does not exist for people who've had this shared experience of well-executed live entertainment. For a few hours anyway. All the screaming, the cheering, the lighter waving, the beer and wine drinking, the t-shirt, CD, poster, and sticker buying, the shared emotion, the crane, the hand-operated video cameras swirling about the venue, the music being played so loudly and clearly that it dampens every other sense to the point that nothing exists on Earth but the show itself, as previously mentioned, also has this dizzying effect upon the players. How could it not? But some musicians never let this get to them, never seek to continue this high or buzz by artificial means. Shannon Kelly is such a musician. He may be a space alien rock god on stage, mostly touring the Americas or anywhere he can get to in his personal tour buses, including occasionally carting the buses overseas with him on cruise ships. But prior to the event, he's just the boss. After the show, he's just a regular dad or friend. That's not to say he doesn't occasionally drink too much when not on or off tour, though. So let's talk about that for a second. So we've set the stage, we've established who this character is. He's Shannon Kelly, rock god, but he's also just a regular friend and a dad, right? Now there's other things about to take place in the world. Let's start there. Buchanan, New York. 352 miles away from Buffalo, New York. A chain-link fence is being split upward with brass shears wielded by black rubber gloved hands. Behind this masked figure is the dark forested hill from which he's come. After a high teepee shape is parted, topping out next to a sign indicating danger, electric fence, and the scissors jammed into a slot atop the pocket of his black rubber jumpsuit, an extremely fit, young, mid-30s, olive-skinned, black rubber ski mask wearing, profusely sweating yet confident in purpose man rapidly turns 180 degrees to lump a 2-inch thick 5x3 black rubber mat through the fence opening he's just made onto the spiral razor-wired front of it. Kind of a tongue twister. He checks up and down, left and right to see if he's been spotted, then double shoulder slings a cumbersome backpack he's placed right to the right of the fence opening before stealthily hopping and sliding on his rear over the shield he's just dropped. He begins cutting the next fence in front of him, bottom to top, having grabbed the scissors from his pocket mid-flight. The backpack is so heavy and awkward that it must be adjusted numerous times during the cutting. He frustratedly wipes dripping sweat from the long, thick black lashes of his large hazel eyes with the sleeve of his shirt, nearly as many times as he shoulders his burden into a workable position before his task is complete. Still not sighted by anyone. With cynical surety, and a sarcastic grin. He checks his watch once he's through. Having first quickly unshouldered his burden and removed the mask and jumpsuit to reveal a digital camouflage set of clothes, military issue with the name Tenet, sewn into the pocket area, drenched in sweat, leaving the twice-used mat atop the razor wire behind him. In Arabic. 3 a.m. Only a few minutes left. He thinks. Grabbing his backpack and shouldering it quickly, taking a second to wipe his handsome face and close-cropped, slightly graying hair with a handkerchief he's pulled from his back pocket, then discards, he begins to canter toward the left cooling tower looming ahead of him. He can't help but mentally quip about the tower's resemblance to a woman's exposed breast. He visibly detests how well lit this power station is at night, and veers toward the shadows. A deep breath for courage. He must run through the light to make his objective. He knows there are guards atop the building. He sees them walking their normal paces. As one spots him, he begins a dead sprint. The power plant bursts alive with news of an intruder. Sirens blast the serenity away from the night. Multicolored spinning and flashing lights nearly turn the lawn into a disco seconds before the football stadium lights. Floodlights along the perimeter are engaged to drown them in white. Tires screech on asphalt toward the shots that are raining past and sending up sprays of disturbed morning dew, as well as chunks of grass and earth around the sprinting boots of this determined individual, before tearing up the lawn with deep treads to intercept their prey. Officers with the words Indian Point Reactor Security emblazoned across the backs of their gray uniform shirts begin a desperate race to catch or destroy their quarry. Many guards shout, "Freeze!" Another, more authoritative voice trumpets over their shoulder-attached CB radios, "Shoot to kill." A bullet tears through the right shoulder of the sprinter with a ghastly spurt of crimson, but he only becomes quicker and more evasive. A few bullets clang against the obviously metal object the runner is carrying. If the pursuers only knew what was in there. Okay, that's where I'll stop for tonight. If you like what I'm doing for you, if you want to be read more, then just let me know and I'll read some more to you. You guys treat each other like royalty, and have a great evening.